I cordially invite our Honorable Secretary, Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar, IPS, Secretary, TSW REIS and TTW REIS, Telangana. Also, I invite respected Dr. Praveen Mamidala, Joint Secretary, TSWR EIS, Telangana. I would like to invite Dr. Banu Prasad, OSD, TSWR EIS. Dr. PSR Sharma, Special OSD for Sainik Schools, TSWR EIS. Dr. Pavani, OSD Academics, TSWR EIS. Dr. Yasholata, OSD Academics, TSWR EIS. Dr. Rajini, Zonal Coordinator South, TSWR EIS. Major Usha Sharma, Director, TSW RAF PDCW, Bongil. And Dr. P. Balreddy, Principal, TSWR AFPDCW, Bongil. Also, I cordially invite distinguished dignitaries, participants across the world, teaching fraternity and dear students. Before we start, I would like to remind you all the webinar instructions. You will be muted. Kindly unmute if you have any queries. You can post in the chat box. All questions will be addressed by the speaker at the time of panel discussion. Now I request Dr. P. Balreddy sir, Principal, TSWR AFPDCW, Bongir, to convey a few words about the virtual gathering. Over to sir. Sir.
Good morning to one and all. First, I congratulate the Department of Botany, TSWRDC, Bongiri. I also thank Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir and also the Joint Secretary Praveen Mamidala sir and the OSD Banu Prasad sir and Special OSD PSR Sharma and our regional coordinator, zonal coordinator, Dr. Rajni Madam, and the organizing committee, Department of Botany, and all my lecturers and colleagues, all those who are participating in this webinar. I also congratulate the Department of Botany on 22nd May, Biodiversity Day. I also thank for the G. Sailu Garu for attending this and giving these valuable things to this webinar. I thank you for one and all for this attending this webinar. Thank you for all. And once again, I congratulate Department of Botany for conducting this webinar. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I cordially invite Dr. Rajni ma'am. I request Rajni ma'am to address the virtual gathering. Over to ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, madam, for participating.
Thank you very much, sir. Good morning, everyone. I hope I am audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Madam.
Good morning, everyone. I cordially invite the resource person for this today's webinar. Then looks to be a very eminent scholar in the field of green. That is, he is regional director for Forest Plus 2O program, and for Ministry of EFSCC, Government of India. So first of all, I should congratulate the Department of Botany and your principal, sir, Balreddy Garu, for encouraging you and then selecting such a good resource person and apt resource person and conducting this webinar. So in spite of your vacation, you are conducting this webinar. I should really appreciate your college. So thank you very much. And coming to the topic also, the selection of the topic is also very much apt, I believe, today, close to nature. Naturally, the people have forgotten nature. We have come from the nature, but at the end of the day, we have forgotten the nature, and then we are coming slowly away from nature. This is very much apt in the present circumstances also, where people are suffering with this pandemic. Maybe this is the only one relief we could get. I think you are reminding me of such things really when looking at this topic. Think all the people, we have to go back to nature and embrace nature for some time, going away from our routine work, maybe in the form of visiting zoos or climbing the mountain. Some of the students, mountaineering, they can go for. Students, they can embrace the nature while learning swimming or visiting parks frequently, and then going for a morning walk every day. Such are the things which where we can keep in touch with the nature, I believe, and really it soothes our body and mind also. So this is a very apt topic you have selected, and I request all the students also to have a keen observation and what they are telling you. Please understand, and then it is the time where when the all of us must go along with the nature, not away from the nature. We have to breathe. If we want to breathe fresh air, naturally, nature is the one which can give good air away from this polluted land. So I think maybe observing colors also. That's the reason why we go for gardening in each and every house also. Green color will soothes your eyes and then improves your eyesight also. So we can get outside if it walk with vitamin D. You can get which will improve your immunity system, and that is the requirement of the day. If the immunity is increased, naturally you can keep away these virus which is presently creating tsunamis of terror. So such things are there. When once which I am getting back to the nature, looking at this topic. So I am really inspired, and I request all of you to listen carefully, all the students to listen carefully, and then follow whatever is said by the honorable, honorable resource person. And sir, I want to introduce our society also to the resource person, that is Sahil Garu, Sri G. Sahil Garu, and our secretary, R.S. Praveen sir, is always go with such type of impressions, and naturally he has started earth sciences, a school of earth sciences also. So now we are cultivating such type of culture in social welfare schools. Naturally, year by year, I think it will be coming to the degree college also later on. So we want to go along with nature, and by such type of topics and then lectures, naturally that feeling of nature is our friend. So that feeling will be created, I believe. So now I'm very thankful to you, sir, for sparing time for giving our students an enlightenment on forestry. Thank you. Thank you very much for such a good opportunity. Thank you, each and everyone. Special thanks to Department of Botany.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for the valuable words. Thank you so much. Now I request today's
Thank you.
Now I request today's international webinar organizing secretary, Dr. Rupa Putta, to present the formal address. Over to Rupa, ma'am. Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. And thanks to all for best wishes. Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to today's international webinar on Close to Nature, on the commemoration of International Day for Biological Diversity, organized by the Department of Botany, Telangana Social Welfare, Armed Forces, Residential Preparatory Degree College for Women, Bongiri, Telangana, India. So, International Day for Biological Diversity. The United Nations has proclaimed the day on May 22nd to increase understanding and awareness of biodiversity issues. This year, they came up with the slogan, "We are part of the solution," with the continuation of last year's theme, "Our solutions are in nature," which reminds us that biodiversity is the only answer to several sustainable development challenges. This year, Convention on Biological Diversity CBD launched a customized logo for Biodiversity Day 2021. The logo depicts that it is a popular graphic representation of solutions that is in puzzle. So each piece can be given in a meaning. Each piece of the puzzle connects to the other, symbolizing interconnectedness. On 22nd May, Biodiversity Day, the piece comes together. Then the puzzle will be solved. So today's webinar, Close to Nature, aims to be a part of nature for deeper understanding of nature and to fetch solution for nature. So what is nature? Nature is what we see. Nature is what we hear. What not? Everything is nature. Everywhere is nature. Just we need to explore and we need to connect it. Once again, I extend my warm welcome to today's webinar, and also I welcoming speaker, today's webinar speaker, Mr. G. Sayulu, Regional Director, USAID. We are grateful to you, sir. You are accepted our invitation in the busy schedule. And we are happy to announce that the overwhelming responses that we got for the registration from various disciplines across the world. Sure, all of you will enjoy the webinar. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now it's time for technical session. So before going to the technical session, so there is a small announcement. Please all be in muted. So don't come as unmute. And before going to that, I would like to introduce our keynote speaker. It's a great privilege to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. G. Sayulu. He is the Regional Director for Forest Plus 2.0 program, United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climatic Change, Government of India. He is the expert on NAVOGA protocol on access and benefit sharing and biodiversity conservation. He worked as Senior Research Fellow in ICAR project on biodiversity conservation for 4 years. He was with AP and Telangana State Biodiversity Board for 9 years as State Project Coordinator and Regional Coordinator. He is having nearly 15 years of experience in the field of biodiversity, especially in wildlife management, forest management and conservation, and preservation of biodiversity. He was the state project coordinator and head of UNEP GEF MOEFCC ABS project. So this is the first global project on strengthening the implementation of the Biological Diversity Act and rules with the focus on its access and benefit sharing provisions. He also worked as Senior Research Fellow under ICAR NAIP funded project on ICAR National Agricultural Innovative Project NAIP, GEF, that is World Bank project, and he has played a major role in registration of 5 land races under PPVF RA with the support of NBPGR. He is also expert in preparation of people's biodiversity registers and prepared more than 50 PBRs, identification and declaration of BHS, Biological Diversity Act, especially in ABS mechanism, that is Nayoga Protocol and Cartagena Protocol and biosafety. IPR documentation of traditional knowledge associated with biological resources. He's also played a major role in declaration of Aminpur Lake as biodiversity heritage site, documented more than 500 TKs, signed nearly 30 ABS agreements, constituted more than 500 BMCs, delivered more than 100 lectures in international and national forums. He was an expert member for the more than 20 state biodiversity boards and delivered various lectures. He was handled 7 World Bank projects in different organizations like CBD, GEF, UNEP, UNDP, JICA, UNICEF, etc. He has developed more than 10 projects on biodiversity and its conservation. He has drafted the TSBD. Sorry for the interruption. I will continue. So today's speaker, he was an expert member for more than 20 state biodiversity boards and delivered various lectures. He has published many research papers in international and national journals related to biodiversity conservation and policy issues. He wrote nearly 20 books on biodiversity for Telangana State Biodiversity Board. He has recently published a book on Telangana State Biodiversity Field Guide, which is one of the unique book on biodiversity of Telangana. He is also expert and member for many organizations like TreePix, Butterfly Conservation Society, Hyderabad, Friends and Flora and Fauna of Hyderabad, Budding Pulse, and advisor for Global Youth Biodiversity Network framed under CBD. Now he is working as regional director for Forest Plus 2.4 program, United States Agency for International Development, USAID, and Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climatic Change, Government of India. So I am grateful to you, sir. Welcome to the webinar, sir. So your speech will be enlighten us towards the biodiversity, sir. I hope all of you enjoy this session, sir. So welcome to the session, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for a great introduction, and pleasure to have you all in this webinar. And thank you for inviting me for this webinar. So shall I share my screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So my screen is visible to you now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, so first of all, I congratulate and I wish everyone a very happy International Day for Biological Diversity, May 22nd. So as you mentioned, the slogan, we are part of the solution, and the webinar is on close to nature. So this is very important slogan and important topic we have chosen for this day. And especially I want to talk about close to nature, how we are in the nature and how we are part of the nature earlier, and why we are losing our nature, and why we are away from the nature nowadays. So this is our main discussions today. And if you have any questions, you can raise or you can ask me in the between, so we can discuss on that. So, and myself, madam already introduced, but I want to tell one thing. I'm from the social welfare school. I studied in Biknoor, 6th to intermediate, social welfare residential school, Biknoor, Kamareddy district. So I'm very happy that I'm today delivering the lecture to my students and my friends, so who are in the social welfare residentials. Thank you so much. And I want to thank all the department, the professors and the lecturers and the students. And also special thanks to Arish Praveen Kumar sir, Secretary and Social Welfare Residential Schools, and for conducting this seminar and webinar. So we'll go into the discussions, and mainly my focus is on CBD, that is Convention on Biological Diversity. And the second one is what is biodiversity, and what are there in the biodiversity, and how we stand in biodiversity, and India stand in biodiversity, and as well as the Telangana, with focus on some of the species which are important for the conservation. So, and the third one is close to nature. So these three topics I want to highlight, and Madam already mentioned the convention related information, and the logo also, which is chosen for this biodiversity day. So this is my phone number. If you want to talk or if you want to share anything, you can share, and this is my email ID. And now coming to the discussions, biodiversity, we all know the definition of biodiversity. You can have different types of definitions, but here I want to say the biodiversity means, the bio means life, and the diversity is differences, and the species, between the species, between the genes, between the ecosystems. So there are three types of biodiversity, and we all know it's academic definitions. And but what exactly is biodiversity means? Example I want to give here, one ecosystem like forestry ecosystem. So we generally consider forestry is having full of forestry and only plants and trees, but it's not a forest. But I want to say here very clear understanding. Forestry means the life and the natural resources that includes soil, rocks, water, and other provisions which we are getting from the forest, and also includes the species which are existing in the forest area. So that all includes, it's an integrated ecosystem that will be called as ecosystem. So the ecosystem fulfilling all the needs of human beings, that is the one kind of forest biodiversity we can call, or the ecosystem we can say. So this is one example. So generally we call, people call the biodiversity is like one terminology, and people may not understand sometimes. If you go and ask the local communities in the villages, they will not understand the biodiversity. But if you say them, so the life existing in their villages are in their jurisdictions, like the birds, animals, insects, and water, and the wetlands, and the forest, and the resources which they are getting, is also called as biodiversity. They will understand simple terminology. So the livestock also which they are rearing in the villages. So these are all includes the biodiversity. So we have to make them understand the biodiversity. So my presentation is basically because we are all good experts, and we know the terminologies, and we know the system, and some of the protocols which are in the national level, international level, and India is signatory. These things we all know. But our idea, whatever I am talking today, the same thing I request everyone to replicate, and to talk with the communities wherever you are going, and wherever you are talking and discussing on the various issues. So our focus is mainly to conserve biodiversity. So that's why the international UNCBD has proclaimed this day as International Biodiversity Day, and we are every year celebrating this day. And every 2 years we are celebrating COPs also, the Conference of Parties. Almost 196 countries became part of the UNCBD, and India is one of the signatory and implementing various protocols under UNCBD, that is called Aikyarajya Samiti. So that was started in 1992, And from that initiation, and India is taking major role in implementing various protocols. So one of the protocol is Nagoya Protocol. It's very important one under the CBD. So in 2002, India enacted the Biological Diversity Act. So, and then each state has the biological diversity rules. So that talks about the roles and responsibility of the institutions, rules and responsibility of the communities, and scientific organizations in India. So what kind of role they have to play, and what are the major implications in conserving the biodiversity, that is clearly spelled out in the Biological Diversity Act. So I was part of Biodiversity Board almost 9 years, from 2010 to 2019. So learning many things, but it's not ending process or methodology. So everything is revolving, and the concepts and methodologies and procedures, every day it's revolving. So ultimately, how to conserve the biodiversity and how to utilize its biodiversity in sustainable way, and access and benefit sharing. These are the three things mentioned in the Biological Diversity Act. So that's why the biodiversity talks about these three major objectives. So whenever we conduct any kind of webinars, so there are many things, there are many protocols in the international level and national level, but today is I focus on the biodiversity convention related aspects, so that we can understand fully and we can replicate to our neighboring people, neighboring communities, and academicians who are handling our part of the biodiversity. So the ecosystems which we see in India, there are many ecosystems. So especially I want to give the examples of lake ecosystem, that's water related. There are many lakes, and which supports many ways. So they are like giving provisioning services, and they are the more carbon sequestrations. So they are very important one. So I appreciate the government of Telangana, who has enacted various acts related to lakes conservation. But one program is that Mission Kakatiya is one of the best program in the world, I can say. So the reviving lakes and desiltation and the bund strengthening, which supports many ways of biodiversity conservation. So in terms of migratory species, because if you have a plenty of water, the migratory species attracts these lakes. So also species also will revive when you have a good amount of water, and that is coming from the forest. So also they have made channels and canals to reach the lakes, the water reach the lakes, so that it will create more sustainability for various management activities like forestry and wildlife, and even for agriculture, because the water is used by these three major stakeholders. So like forest department, generally they require water, and that is very important. And also agriculture we need, and that is man-made systems, and the wildlife which the water takes. So this is very important. And the agriculture ecosystems in India. So we have 9 biogeographical locations, and a very good amount of biodiversity existing in the agriculture ecosystem. Here I want to mention, Madam already told that one of the activity which we have done in the Telangana, it's one of the best model for the country. Around 5 germplasm that we call flock 4, or you can call it as land races. It is registered under the PPV-FRA Act. So PPV-FRA means Protection of Plant Varieties Farmers' Right Act. So that came in India in 2001. So 2005, they have started the registering the germplasm in the name of communities. So earlier, most of the companies, the agriculture industries goes to this particular agency for registering their land races. So that may be hybrids, that may be GMOs, that is genetically organisms. So these things were happening. But in Telangana, what we did is the species like a sorghum, we have to Pelala Jonna and Macha Jonna. And there are two other millets. One is Balinta Pesalu and Machala Kandulu. So these two. So and one more is the rice bean. So one of the unique rice bean, this from registered from Telangana and from Adilabad district, Kerameri area and Utnur and Budihatnur areas. So the very unique the germplasm, so which we have registered in the name of biodiversity management committees, and they are the legal bodies at the ground level. So earlier, that maybe you understand, you know, the VSS and EDCs, Eco Development Committees are there earlier, and under JFM, there are VSS also, Vana Samrakshana Samitis, but they are not legally bounded. But the biodiversity management committees, which established under the Biological Diversity Act, they have a legal right to protect the biodiversity of those jurisdictions. So we came to know that they can register the biological resources and which is existing in their area and their jurisdictions. So village boundary, they calculate, and even some of the forest area also, which is comes under the boundary of the BMCs, biodiversity management committees. So now these 5 registered germplasm, it's kind of patent, they got it. So if anybody, any company wants it for commercialization, that they want to trade it to other countries, so they need to follow the mechanisms under the Biological Diversity Act, and they have to take the permissions. And the condition is the third objective, access and benefit sharing. They have to share the 5% benefit to the communities when they access these biological resources for commercialization. It's one of the best model. Even the DG ICAR, who visited Telangana during one of the conference in 2019 in Professor Jayashankar University. So he highlighted that the Telangana is one of the best model for registering these varieties. So this is one work which I've involved, and we all together, and the experts also involved from a National Bureau of Plant Genetic Resources, ICAR organization in Hyderabad. So they also started asking how to register these species, and then we have so many consultations at National Biodiversity Authority and Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change, and the PPVFRA. And finally, we registered them in the name of biodiversity management committees. The committees are like local communities. So because they have the whole and sole sovereign rights. So this one example I'm giving with the forest ecosystem. So I want to show this picture. This gives the one kind of the liveliness of the water and the flora and the diversity which we can see. This photo I have taken from Maridimilli area, Rampachudavaram area. So it's one of the beautiful, it's called Eastern Ghats. So they have good biodiversity. We used to go there and we used to record the butterfly species and the bird species. And we have almost recorded nearly 150 butterfly species in this area. So this is found in Andhra Pradesh. So that ecosystem, I was telling this, there are 4 kinds of services which we get from the forest ecosystem. So one is like provisioning services. We get food, fiber, fresh water, and genetic resources. And the regulating services like ecosystem services, climate regulations, hazard regulation, noise regulation, and pollination, disease and pest regulation, regulation of water, and air and soil quality. So now the project which I am working in India, so we are replicating these models from India to various countries. So we are assessing the amount of money which is we are getting in terms of monetary and non-monetary. So from the forest sector. So it's almost 1.7 trillion rupees we are getting from the forest, and 70% of the communities in India directly and indirectly benefiting from the forest ecosystem. So these are playing very, very major role so that we need to, even when we talk, when we discuss with the government departments, we need to highlight these things, why we need biodiversity, why we need the services which we are getting from the forest and water and other sources. So the policymakers also need to understand the kind of the amount of the money which we are getting from the forestry and agriculture systems and wetland systems. This is very important. And even biodiversity also helps in many ways in terms of tourism, in terms of culture, in terms of aesthetic, and this pandemic situation which we are seeing now. So people are not going to the forest, people are not connected to the forest, people are not connected to the nature. So I want to inform everyone. So if you have any kind of options, you can just go to the forest and relax yourself and get relaxed, and you can solve your mentally and physically problems during this pandemic time. So this is a global scenario. I just want to say that 300 million people depending on the forests and for various ecosystem services and goods and timber, wood products, non-timber forest products, clean water, air, climate regulation, soil stabilization. This all includes the 2013, the expert committee in India. So they have assessed the net value of the forest in India that includes water and other services which is providing from the forest. So it's about 1.7 trillion rupees. So even based on this, the UN convention, so the developing countries are having much resources, and they are the only solution for that. That's why the convention also mentioning the developing countries are playing major roles to run the development. So that's why the Millennium Development Goals and the Sustainable Development Goals clearly mentioned that the developed country has to give a grant to the developing countries for conserving the biodiversity. So that's why the World Banks and the UN conventions, mostly they are ready to fund the developing countries for conserving the biodiversity. Why I'm talking this is, India is one of the mega biodiversity country, and we all know India is one of the 17th mega biodiversity country, and we are the 18th part of the like-minded countries in the world. So they have identified 18 like-minded countries in the world, and we are one of the, India is one of them. So that's why India is having rich biodiversity. Why it is having rich biodiversity? I can say India is a subtropical country. So that's why it's not more than heat, or it's not that much cool. So that's why it is subtropical. Ushna, I can say Ushna Sitoshna Sthiti Kaligina Deshman Pilstar. So this is one of the very important country, and which has a unique diversity. That's why most of the countries, and they look for India for various programs. So India is having good biodiversity, and you all know India has biodiversity, 4 biodiversity hotspots, and that is I'll going to tell about the next in the next slides. And this point, Millennium Ecosystem Assessment 2000, they have started. So there is a national report, you can search in the Google, and they have clearly mentioned about the 2 things. One is Sustainable Development Goals, which has 17 goals we have to achieve it, and 20 aichi targets. So they are the main targets for us to achieve in all terms, like awareness, like conservation and habitat conservation, and sustainable management of the resources. So that is very important. And 2020, recently, the UNCBD announced that no country has achieved so that any can continue our program fully. So the word, yesterday I was thinking how to keep one sentence that will give more impact for our
Welcome back to
minds
Mother's Day
in this
special Master
situation, pandemic
Devabhava.
situation.
Special
We are
partner
at home.
Vijayalakshmi Dairy Milk
So
Bureau.
people are like disturbed physically, mentally, and spiritually. So, but how to achieve this? So, but any kind of any chance you just from your house, maybe on the terrace, or maybe if you have a nearest forest, thank you. Just go and with following COVID guidelines, and you get relaxed. And we have lockdown time also, and you can strengthen your mental, physical. You can unmute them. So this is very important word. I have collected yesterday and searching various papers and how to close to nature, how to become a close to nature. So this the is word I have yesterday. I was thinking you can keep this keep one sentence that will give now this point. In fact, we are changing life on the mind. So in this situation, there are many issues. We are at home. So because people are countries, developing countries, they need physically, mentally, and spiritually target. So, but how to achieve many developmental activities? Any kind of to any chance you just to reach the developed from your house, and that's why India is also on the terrace of developmental. If you have a nearest forest and train the right tracks following COVID guidelines, developmental programs for get relaxed. We so have sometimes lockdown time also. We need a good road, and you have to strengthen your mental, physical, when you need a good road, spiritually. So you need to cut so this very important. So that's word I kind of yesterday and the debate which we have so various forums and in how to close to nature, how to become a close. So this is the one of the main debates. So this is the word I have. So but finally the sustainable development goals talks about the alternative now this point when you are changing life of the developmental work. So like there are many construction, building construction, because and the countries, developing countries, and many other programs. So we need to have sustainable mechanism, sustainable utilization of the resources, and to become development that is required for every project. So even that's why India is also forest climate change has authority to give permissions for various projects, and they will also track the EIA and various developmental programs for developing the decisions. So sometimes we think development we need a good road. Second is conservation. You have to cut the plants. Because when India is having, so we need to cut the plant. So that's a kind of knowledge, the debate which we have. So various forums in the national and international diverse participate. So this is one of the main. So that's why coming India. So but finally the sustainable development goals talks about challenging many things. The alternative so one is development, one is when you are doing so some we have good biodiversity, but how to conserve it. Like so that's construction, building construction, already discussed thermal power, the conservation of biodiversity, and many other and sustainable use of so we need to have sustainable mechanism, sustainable utilization of the resources, or sustainable development genetic resource that is required for every bio life. So biological Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate Change has authority to give permissions most for of the resources have been and they will also review countries for hybridization and GMOs. So now we are debating various countries. One is development is important from second is conservation and the countries who are getting benefits. India is having to share the benefits to India so that knowledge we can supply our resources lot of population various countries and we need to meet their food and other requirements. So that's why this I already discussed like the Rio Summit and two things challenging many. One is so one is development, one is conservation. So we have good biodiversity, but how to conserve it? So that's 10 years period. So this I decade on biodiversity and the conservation of biodiversity 30 and sustainable use of its components, fair and decade on ecosystem and restoration from the utilization of system restoration and the genetic resources. Decade on biodiversity is almost bio life biodiversity, biological achievements which we need to achieve. Not yet achieved during 1970, 10 years. Most of the resources have been collected by various countries. So now we have hybridization and GMOs to restore. So now we are debating with as I
various
mentioned,
countries,
the
forestry,
resources which are accessed from
the
India,
water
and the countries who are
and
getting
agriculture
benefits,
ecosystems.
and they have to
So
share
one
the
is,
benefits to India.
agriculture
for conservation.
ecosystem is
so that
having
we can
major
supply
threat
our resources
because
to the
we are
various
adopting
countries
all
to
commercial
meet the
based
food and other
technologies,
requirements. Commercial
programs.
So this I
for
already discussed.
our
Rio Summit
cultivation
and
act,
two things we are doing.
cultivation
One
aspect.
is so that 2011 to 20
changed,
and that has to be United Nations declared
traditional
culture
the
system
10 years
traditional
period
agriculture
as
decade on
or
biodiversity,
you can
and
call it
this
as traditional
21
land
to
race
30 this decade
land
is
races we
declared
have to
on
protect.
decade on
And we have to
ecosystem and
harvest the
restore
land races.
also restoration
majorly
and
organic
biodiversity
farming is
decade on
one of the
biodiversity is
best
almost
model
model
for
biodiversity increasing
the
the
achievement
restoration
which
of
we need to
agriculture
achieve it.
ecosystem.
And
Not
even
yet
wetland
achieved,
ecosystem, there
during
are
the
many
10 years of
invasive
the
species.
decade.
So
flora
now we
and
have
fauna
option
they are
to restore our
majorly
ecosystems. As I
destroying the
mentioned,
wetland ecosystem,
forestry
and
ecology,
the
the
those things
water
we need to
ecosystems and
restrict and
agriculture
restore our
ecosystems.
natural
So
ecosystems.
one is
wetland
agriculture
ecosystems
ecosystem
like
is
water
having
bodies
major
and like
threat
lakes
because
and
we
sea
are
or
adopting
any
all
other
commercial
things which we have.
based technologies.
So this is one of this is data
programs
which I have
for
taken from the
our
JEDESA and BSI source,
cultivation
and
and
this is the updated
program,
one.
cultivation
And
aspect.
we have
So that
so far
has to
identified
be changed,
48,655
and that has to be
species
restored
of
with the traditional
flora
culture system
and
traditional agriculture practices,
97,708
or you can call it a
fauna in
traditional
India.
land
And
Telangana
we
also
have
we have
and we have
almost
almost
2000
harvest
species
the land
of
races.
also
More than 2,000
majorly
species of
organic
flora,
farming is
and
one of the
nearly
best model for
increasing the
our book
restoration
like
of
biodiversity
agriculture
field guide
ecosystem.
we have projected.
And even wetland ecosystem, there are
100
many
species of
invasive species,
including birds,
flora and fauna,
fishes,
and
they
many
are
other species.
Majorly destroying the wetland
Here
ecosystem.
I want to talk
And
about
because
biodiversity
those things
hotspots.
we need to
So we have 4
restrict and
hotspots
restore
out of
our
natural ecosystems, wetland ecosystems like
India,
water bodies and
has
like
4 in
lakes
different
and
places,
and
sea
you
or
can see
any
here
other things
Western
which we
Ghats is
have.
one of the biodiversity
So
hotspots.
this is one
and
of
border of Sri
this
Lanka
is data
and
which I
Indo-Burma
have
and
taken
eastern
from the
JEDESA and BSI source. And this is
And
the
why
updated
we
one.
declare.
And we have these so far
Biodiversity
identified 48,655 species
we
of
declare biodiversity hotspots.
flora.
We
and
need to know the terminology,
97,708
and the
species of
methodology,
fauna
how we are
in
declaring
India.
biodiversity hotspots.
And Telangana also
Biodiversity
we
hotspot
have,
when they declare.
almost
So
2,000
it should
species
have
of,
more than
2,000
species
of flora,
flora and
nearly,
fauna.
and that has to be in
and
our book,
so
like
it's
biodiversity
found in only
field
one
guide,
place.
it's not anywhere in there.
1100
So,
species of
more than 1,500
including
species
birds
are existing in that
fishes,
area as an endemic,
and many
and
other
that can be
species.
declared as a biodiversity heritage
Here
hotspot.
I want to talk about
And,
the
second
biodiversity
terminology,
hotspots.
second
So we
objective
have
they
4
have chosen
hotspots.
is 70% of the native vegetation. The
India,
habitat should have
has 4 in different
native
places,
flora and
and you
can see
70%.
Western
Not
Ghats is one of
man-made,
the
or it's not
biodiversity hotspot
disturbed,
and border of Sri Lanka
forest
and
or
Indo-Burma and
ecosystem.
eastern
So that will be
Himalaya.
declared as biodiversity hotspot.
The two
And
things
why
to
we
they,
declare
they will consider
these
for when they
biodiversity
biodiversity hotspots.
How we declare
So
biodiversity
now
hotspots.
how to become? We need to know the
become close to
terminology
nature,
and
how
the
you can
methodology,
do,
how
what
we are
way
declaring
the
the
biodiversity
students,
hotspot.
youngsters,
biodiversity
and
hotspot
the
when
other
they
people
declare.
so it should have more
One
than
is,
1,500
majorly we
species
have
of
to open our
flora and fauna,
here,
and
or
that has to be endemic.
think about it.
So
Think
it's
around
found in only one
what is
place.
there.
It's
If
not
you are in
anywhere
the
in
city,
there.
if you are in the
So
low,
more than
village,
1,500 species
and if you are in the,
existing in that area
town,
as an
wherever
endemic,
you are,
and that can
just
be
open
declared as a
these
biodiversity
things and
heritage,
think.
hotspot.
And what is
And
there around
second
you,
terminology,
and
second
then
objective
assess
they have
that.
chosen is
So
70% of the
and what
native vegetation.
those things are
that
helping
habitat
us
should
as
have
human beings.
native
So
flora
second
and
thing is
fauna,
curious to
70%.
explore. Learn about living
man-made
style
or
of the
not
local communities, taste
disturbed
and
etc.
forest. So you
or
can go to the
ecosystem.
villages,
So that
you
will be
can- you
declared
can
as
see
biodiversity
their
hotspot.
heritage,
The
their
two things
culture,
to
and
you can they will
record,
consider
you
for
can,
when they declaring the
sketch
biodiversity
it,
hotspots.
and you can write it.
So
and
now
you can do
how
research,
to become?
how to
So what they are
become
doing,
close
what
to
is the
nature,
existing
and how
mechanism
you
they
can
used to
do,
follow,
what way you
and
can
what
do.
they are doing
Students,
now,
youngsters,
these things are
and
very
the
important
other
when you are
people
learning
who are
or
also
when you are
one is
becoming the
majorly we
researcher
have
or
to open our
academician. so that we will not the existing mechanism.
That's why
Think
this
around
UNC will also
what is
clearly
there. If
mentioned
you are
in
in
the
the city,
8th
if you are
J
in
of the law
convention
village
in the act,
and
if you are in the convention of biological
town,
diversity
wherever you
act,
are.
just
very
open
clearly
these
mentioned
things
8th J
and
talks
think
about the
and
community
what is,
protocols.
community
Around
protocols
you
means,
and
then
the
assess
traditional
that.
practices
So how
which they
and
used
what
to
we
follow.
those things
So
are
they are
helping
the
us
very important
as human
ones.
beings.
So I'll
So
give some of the
second thing is
examples
curious
here.
to explore, learn about
Generally,
style of the local
communities
taste
when
when
they are living
so you
near
can go
to
to the
forest
villages,
fringe
you
areas,
can
they
see
have
their
local
heritage, their
traditional
culture,
systems
and you can
when
record,
the wildlife is coming to their
sketch it,
place.
and
So
you
they
can
have
write
a
it,
boundaries
and you can do
with
research.
native
So
species
what
of
they are
plants.
doing, what is
And
the
that is like
existing mechanism
thorns
they used to
and,
follow,
some
and
of
what
the
they are
smelling
doing now.
plants,
These
like
things are very
Vitex
important
nigundu,
when you are
and
learning
some
and
of
when you
the
are
species which
becoming the researcher or academician,
will not
so
allow
that
wildlife
we
into
will
their
know the
agricultural
existing
system.
mechanism. That's why
They are the
this
traditional
UNC will also
practices
very
they used to
clearly
follow
mentioned
to
in the
avoid the
8th J
wildlife
of
into
the
their habitats.
convention,
But now
in the act,
the present
the
scenario,
convention of biological
people
diversity
starting
act.
with
So very clearly
they have
mentioned,
started
8th
with
J talks
fencing,
about
they
the
have
community
started with electric
protocols.
poles,
Community
and killing the
protocols
wildlife.
means the
So this is
traditional
very
practices
which they
bad
used
thing
to
which we are
follow.
doing in the
So
present
they are
scenario.
the very important
So that has to be
ones.
stopped.
So
And
I'll
even
give some of the
roads
examples
which
here.
they used to follow in the
Generally,
wild areas,
the
they will not
communities
disturb any tree or
when
any
they are
wildlife.
living near
So
to the
they have
forest
a
fringe areas,
kind of small
they have
route
local
to reach their
traditional
villages.
systems.
So they will not
When
disturb
the
anything or
wildlife
any
is coming to their
wildlife
place.
besides
So they
and
have
around
a
them.
boundaries.
So
With,
like that they used to conserve
native
because
species of plants.
and that is
the
like
life or
thorns
the living
and some of the
system
smelling
which they have
plants
is
like Vitex
only
nigundu
depending on the
and
forest.
some of the
And the other
species
ecosystem
which
services,
because they get food and
will
fodder
not
and
allow
many things from the
wildlife
forest.
into their agricultural system.
So that's why
They are the
they
traditional
are
practices they
concerned.
used to
Now
follow
everyone,
to avoid
now
the
we have to
wildlife
think,
into
even
their
department has
habitats.
to think that.
But now
We
we
are
present
missing one
scenario,
thing. Community
people
involvement
starting
is
with,
missing in various
they have
conservation
started
programs
with fencing,
that we
they have
observed
started
last
with
10,
electric
20 years.
poles and
So
killing the wildlife.
community involvement
this is
very
very
important.
so generally when the
bad
forest
thing
fires
which we are
happening in the
doing
forest
in
area,
present scenario.
so that has to be
Department
stopped.
is
And
going
even
alone, going
the
and,
roads which they used to
controlling the
follow
forest
in
fires
the wild
and that
areas,
will
they
not
help
disturb
forest
any tree
management.
or any wildlife.
So
So
earlier
they have a
they
kind
have
of small committees and the community protocols. When there's some kind of fires are there, they immediately all the villagers go there and stop the firing. So nowadays only department 2-3 people are going and they are stopping. It will not serve the purpose. So that's why everyone, the community, even I was part of one of the UN convention program. So one of the leaders spoke about the community involvement is major role. They play major role in conserving the biodiversity in surrounding them and which is existing in their jurisdiction. This is very important. So we are now away from the communities. So we are thinking that as a policymaker or the conservationists or the wildlife people, so we generally go and document the diversity, we go and document the issues, we go and document the problems, many things. But what is the involvement of community? Because they are the main owners of the biodiversity. So because even we are not saying, it's law saying, so they have to protect, they have to conserve the biodiversity and they have to preserve the biodiversity. Earlier, olden days, our forefathers, they used to preserve the germplasm. So they used to have the mango varieties, they used to have vegetable varieties, they used to have sorghum varieties, many species they used to preserve it, because they used to collect these species which are good quality and they have good smelling ones. Even I recorded almost 35 sorghum varieties from Adilabad district and 65 rice varieties from Araku area. So still existing there, and the tribals using them and they are cultivating it, they are harvesting it. And which I visited in one of the area in Araku, is World Genome Center. So they're saying the world is recognizing that area, but the existing the department stakeholders not recognizing that area. It's a World Genome Center. I saw there almost 65 rice varieties, rice germplasm, and they're still cultivating it. I have a book on that. So you can search in the net and it is available. Even I have taken the photographs of all the rice varieties. So this is, I'm giving one photo, one example. This is from Aminpur Biodiversity Heritage Site near BHEL Lingampalli. So the first heritage site declared in Telangana. The photo taken from there. So I'm not the photographer of that bird, but Guru is one, my friend, has taken this photo. And these flamingos, now they are visiting, and very good number, almost thousands of flamingos, pelicans, and other birds visit this area. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, you can ask.
Thank you very much, sir. So we are very much happy to hear that you are the pride alumnus of social welfare.
Yeah.
And we are proud to you, sir, being associated with you. It's a really fantastic webinar, sir. Sir, I got many responses in the chat box. It is a wonderful webinar and informative webinar, sir. Very much thankful to you, sir. So I request participants, if you have any queries, you can raise the hand. And or you can post the queries into the chat box. Sir will answer you.
Good morning, all of you. I'm Dr. Nagu. May I speak, please?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, thank you very much for the organizers also. It's an excellent presentation. And I've been attending several webinars, monthly at least 6 or 4. This is the first of its kind, I should admit. And then, yes, the role of the local community is well explained, and it is very unfortunate that many don't know that the Aruku is declared as World Genome Center. So very local issues also not known to many of us. In this context, as an academician, I suggest that we teachers should involve the students. See, they come from different places. We can ask them to prepare some seminars or workshops or simple projects regarding their own local issues. Thus, we can penetrate this subject much more with a good connectivity for the local issues. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Sir, from any participants, you can interact with sir. Sir, really you mentioned biodiversity conservation and varieties of the biodiversity, especially the patents which are we taken from India. Those are very wonderful, sir. So your contribution to the conservation of biodiversity is a very appreciable thing, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Any queries from participants? Okay, sir.
You can wait.
Nagamani ma'am. Nagamani ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
So there is one question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Come on, sir.
Yeah, you can. Teacher ga nenu students to biodiversity పై వీలైనంత అవగాహన చేస్తున్నాను. అయితే టీచర్ గా ఎలాంటి రోల్ ఉండాలి? ఓకే. సో వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ థింగ్ మ్యామ్. నేను ఏం చేశానంటే బయోడైవర్సిటీ బోర్డ్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు మనకు స్కూల్లో ఉన్న ఎన్ఎస్ఎస్ యూనిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. ప్రతి స్కూల్స్ లో ప్రతి కాలేజ్ లో ఎన్ఎస్ఎస్ యూనిట్స్ ఉన్నాయి అన్నమాట. సో వీటిని బయోడైవర్సిటీ క్లబ్స్ గా కన్వర్ట్ చేయాలన్నమాట. సో వాళ్ళు బయోడైవర్సిటీ కన్వర్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత అట్లీస్ట్ ఒక యూనిట్ ఏదైతే యూనిట్ ఉందో ఎన్ఎస్ఎస్ యూనిట్ వాళ్ళు ఏం చేయాలంటే ఒక్కొక్క విలేజ్ ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. సో విలేజ్ ని అడాప్ట్ చేసుకున్న తర్వాత అండ్ దే కెన్ select that village and they can start documenting the biodiversity. So there is a PBR, People's Biodiversity Register, need to be prepared by local communities and the local bodies. So under the Biodiversity Management Committee, so they have to prepare and they have to authorize the People's Biodiversity Register. So that People's Biodiversity Register will give you the authenticity, also sovereign right to the communities about the biological resources of the area. It's like a kind of patent also. So when they registered that varieties and the biodiversity existing in that area and which is available in the that register, we can claim when resource is accessed by someone or resource is taken for some commercial purpose, we can claim that resource, this particular resource belongs to our area. And we have a right on that, we have a patent on that, and if anybody taking that, they have to give the ABS share. Also they have to inform and take the permissions when they are taking for commercial utilization. This is one aspect. Second thing, what we have done is, as a youth role, they can go to the different forest areas which are nearby. And even in the districts, almost Telangana, we have various wildlife sanctuaries and the national parks, and they can do small projects, intern projects they can do, and like butterfly checklist documentation, and they can do floral species which are associated with butterflies, and the pollinators, especially the pollinator, very important. Yesterday, 20th May was the World Bee Day. So the pollinators are playing major roles. But nowadays, in the present scenario, the pollinators, we are missing it because they do pollination, we all know. Otherwise, future economy is depending on agriculture. So because we are losing everything. So the agriculture system is depending on pollinators. We cannot create pollinators unless until if we are protecting the pollinators. So that includes many species. So even bats, including the honeybees and other insects, especially birds and especially butterflies. These things are very important. We need to document them. Also, which butterfly plant is available in that area need to be protected. So they may be a small climber, they may be a small plant and shrub, herbs, many things. They can document and they can submit the small projects to department, and that can be recorded and that can be showcased as one of the case studies, so that we can show it to the state level policy makers that these kind of things need to be documented and the policy need to be revised based on this. So those kind of things we can do as a teacher.
Thank you, sir.
No question. Please mention few agencies or authentic material which can guide the interested teachers to accomplish the job. So I can say BNHS, Bombay Natural History Society, Bombay, and Ministry of Environment and Forest Climate Change. They have a program also, and you can search in website, and they are giving free courses, also some of the paid courses for the teachers, and they're giving good documents. Even WWF also there in Telangana, and even in Delhi also. And UNDP is one of the international organization, and UNEP also there, and they are all working with the departments on various projects, and they have already documented the various programs, success stories from India. And even there is one book called Biodiversity Conservations by various state biodiversity boards. So they have documented all the communities who are conserved the biodiversity, individuals conserve the biodiversity, and that book is available. You can see and follow that book and learn from many things from that book. And you can approach me, I can guide you, and various programs which are implementing in India by UN departments, and that is USAID, and even JEF programs are there. Even EPTRA, they have good programs in Gachibowli. They're also doing on climate change, and biodiversity board is there, and they're working on biodiversity conservation, and universities also. They are doing very good job for documenting flora and fauna in the state. And BSI, JDSI also there, Botanical Survey of India, Geological Survey of India. So Botanical Survey of India is there in Koti, and JDSI also there in Attapur, Hyderabad. So you can approach them, and they have this herbarium collections. They have specimens of various species for fauna. And for BSI, they have all herbariums, and they have good botanists, and they will identify the species, and you can approach them. You can, I think there are many people already, you know, so they are all helping, and they're documenting district wise floras, district wise faunas. And we recently started Achenpet area, that is Amrabad Tiger Reserve, flora and fauna of Amrabad Tiger Reserve. And even I documented many sacred groves in this Bonagiri area, Gatkesar area. So even PBRs also there, and you can replicate those PBRs. Many things we can do.
Sir, may I know about the program Forest Plus 2.0? Can you explain about that?
So Forest Plus program is a program of 5 years, and we are working on 3 objectives. One is forest management. Second one is securing the livelihoods of the communities. And third one is landscape management approach. These 3 things, 3 major activities. And earlier forest monitoring used to be like physically, manually they used to do. And the foresters goes to the forest area to document the trees and animals and existing resources. But what we did is Forest Plus with the UN approach, and we have adopted the software technology, and we have developed the softwares and apps for monitoring the forest. And the local forest staff will download the WAN system. There is one system, WAN system. WAN means so the WAN system will document the biodiversity and forestry various aspects. There are 9 farms. So each farm is giving a lot of information, and all they have to document from the field. And that will come to the server, and the server will analyze the system, analyze the area, and analyze the existing resources. And the system will give immediately how to conserve the biodiversity of that particular pocket. It's like 1 hectare, 2 hectare, 3 hectare. So the diversity which is existing, and even we have a system called the hydrological documentation. Even what kind of resources available, water resources available in the ground, that also we are documenting. And the soil which is existing in that area and suitable for which plant, that also we are documenting. So based on that, we will suggest the species to plant in that particular forest block. So each district has almost 300 to 400 forest blocks. So each block consists of 200 hectares. So 200 hectares, what is required, we are giving that information. And for the second objective, livelihood security, this all provisioning services, ecosystem services, cultural services, and supporting services, which we are getting from the forest, need to be enhanced. And because population is increasing and communities also depending on the forest. So we need to enhance them, and so that the livelihoods will be secure. So including ecotourism. Ecotourism is based on the forestry. So the urban parks, how we can utilize, and the aesthetic places like heritage which is existing in that area, how to develop that site into community-based ecotourism. So these things we are doing. And third objective, forest conservation always we talk. But finally, there are integrated approach need to be followed. So that integrated approach is like landscape management plan. So once landscape management plan is a vision document, we need to develop, and the existing resources and existing stakeholders and what is the usage and what is the threat, all these things need to be documented in that report, and based on that, individual department need to take the action to achieve that particular issue. So like irrigation department, so all our channels are blocked, and some of the channels like encroached by the local community. How to clear it, how to reach that water into the lake, that has to be solved out. So these things are very, very important to manage the landscape. So landscape is like an ecosystem. So ecosystem now under pressure. So by some people will go for some other things. And generally the local people, if they are not having any kind of livelihood, generally they take one knife and go to the forest and cut the tree and bring the tree into for various purposes. So ultimately forestry is under stress. So how to create alternative livelihoods from the forest? So that's why we are suggesting the species which give more livelihoods to the local community, so that they will depend on the fruits, they will depend on the leaf, they will depend on the other natural resources, and they will not disturb, because they need only money. So that's why we have started leaf plate units, so that the local communities going to the forest and they collect moduga and bahunia leaves, and they will make leaf plates and they will sell it in the market. So we are linking with the DRDA and other departments, so that the plastic usage also will be reduced. So that kind of programs we are doing. And ecotourism, we train the communities how to handle the ecotourism. So how to cook the local food, how to showcase the village, how to showcase the tribal practices to the tourists, so that tourists will be attracted and the communities will get livelihood out of this tourism. So we are doing many programs, and that will take another 1-2 hours time to explain all these things. You can search, there's a Forest Plus program website, and that will give clear sense about the program. And this is the first time we are doing in India in 3 states, Telangana and Bihar and Kerala. So, so ministry and US government is appreciating our works, activities, and that will be replicated in all over the world in future. So this is a pilot program. So why I chosen that? Because I worked on environment sector for 3 years, as you mentioned. I have given my introduction, and 5 years on wildlife, and 9 years on biodiversity. So these 3 aspects I have finished, and the forestry, I want to learn more because I am forestry background. I studied forestry, my graduation and my master's in plant sciences. So because all these integrated approach we need to do, and finally how to develop the policies for the country, that's very important. So whenever I go to people and having a discussions, I'll take more information, because I'll tell you one example. So generally the roads passing through wildlife sanctuaries, what happens, I'll tell you. I observed in Medak area, night time we allow vehicles through passing through wildlife area. So generally we switch on the floodlights, the motorcycle lights, sometimes whatever vehicle we use. So the local area, insects will come, attract, and they will come the road. So sometimes the road will be there. So what will happen? That insects, frog will come. So frog also on the road accident. And to eat that frog, a snake will come, and snake will die. And to eat that snake, raptors will come, and they will also die. So this is a not a proper way of ecosystem approach. So what we are doing is avoid these things. They are passing through the wildlife sanctuaries. Stop floodlights at least. Otherwise, don't travel in the night time. And second, most of the wildlife areas, wild animals will come to the villages, and they kill local cattle and sometimes human beings. all these things. So what we are suggesting, there are existing practices by the local communities. They used to plant various trees. So that will not allow the wildlife into this human habitats. And they have a traditional practices. They used to make noise, some kind of sound, and they will not move into that wildlife area during the night time. So these things they used to follow. Now this present generation, they will not understand the ecosystem approach. What is the ecosystem, what they need and what we need. So this is lacking. There is a gap. So we are filling that gap now.
It's very much interesting, sir. Sir, my side one question, sir.
Yeah.
So we are studying the local vegetation. How can we report in the software form, sir? What are the statistical tools which are available for easy reporting or recording?
Yeah.
Is there any statistical tools?
Yeah, statistical tool for vegetation, that forest, right? Forest are the
Vegetation, local vegetation, sir.
local biodiversity.
Yes,
So
sir.
what we have, the National Working Plan Code, NWPC, National Working Plan Code 2014 is there. So the Forest Survey of
Sir, particular. Sir, sorry, sir. Sir, you can unmute, sir.
Yeah, sorry.
Sir, once again, sir, please, sir.
Yeah. So NWPC, I'm just talking about NWPC, National Working Plan Code 2014 is there. 2014 NWPC will give the clear idea of documenting the vegetation diversity of that particular block. So this is the unique farm system developed by FSI and Forest Research Institute and Government of India, MOFCC. So, and all the state forest departments need to document this vegetation under the NWPC. NWPC has 9 formats. So 9 formats, 5 formats, like one is inventory data, and there is a form, inventory form, and there is a provisioning services forms also, 4 provisioning services form, plot approach, plot enumeration, plot description, and village information and community details. So these details need to be documented first. So this will come as a working plan again. After documenting all the information, they have to develop the working plan. Each district has a working plan. So we need to understand that each district has a working plan, and the working plan is now 10 years. Some of the working plans now almost completed. This particular working plan is having tenure of 10 years. Each working plan is having complete details of that area. They have to document. So like village information means in the village, what kind of mechanism using for forest management, that need to be documented in the working plan. And overall the communities depending on the forest, and what kind of resources they are using for their consumption, and what is the dependency, and what is the carbon sequestration of that area. Example, Bhuvanagiri, and Bhuvanagiri, that particular block, almost 200 hectares area, who are living and in the forest, all includes this working plan. So this working plan will give the clear idea, and then they have to mention which pocket, which block is having good biodiversity, which pocket is having less biodiversity, and less biodiversity, what action need to be taken. So these things need to be written in the working plan. So working plan is like a management plan for the district. So the dependency and requirement and the conservation practices, they have many information. You will see like a carbon sequestration, how much sinking in the Bhuvanagiri area, that is there. If they have not documented, they have to document it as per the NWPC code. So this vegetation also they have to assess. So vegetation talks about different levels also. One is regeneration, which are the small plants which is growing early. You can see that finger size. So that finger size vegetation also they need to document, and the species also, which shrub, and the scientific name, and how much area it is covering, and how much species, how many species available in that area, that need to be documented. And second thing, diversity of that 200 hectares. Example, I'm saying in Bhuvnagiri, maybe 200 to 300 forest blocks are there. Each block 200 hectares. Each 200 hectare, they need to document properly, including the fringe areas. So all information will come into one place, and then we need to start the management plan. How to manage that forest, how to manage that biodiversity, how to manage the water resources, how to manage the soil, how to manage the mining, how to manage the water resource, how to manage the fisheries, and which resources are over exploited, and how to protect that. All these need to be discussed and documented properly. That is in the consultation with the existing stakeholders. All the departments like agriculture, fisheries, animal husbandry, all departments should be part of that working plan preparation. And this protocol, again, CBD is saying People's Biodiversity Registers. So People's Biodiversity Register should have for every village. And in the People's Biodiversity Register, complete details need to be documented. Flora, fauna, plant birds, herbs, shrubs, everything. And number of fishes, number of species, availability, quantity, all this, and which are more exploited. All this need to be documented. Then we can assess which are majorly under threat, which are not under threat, how to prioritize and document and conserve the species. So for wildlife, again, Wildlife Act is there. So wildlife exists in the forest, also outside the forest. Example, birds will go to different places. So it's a wildlife, and where it is sitting. So even in the villages, the neem tree and the peepal tree and the ficus tree, they use for nesting. Birds they use for nesting. But what the locals are doing at present generation, I am saying, the previous days, our forefathers never disturbed these birds. But nowadays, they are making some kind of shit and disturbing that particular their house or that tree. They are cutting the branches. So this is not the way of doing activities in the villages. So they have to invite the migratory species when they are coming in the rainy or winter season for nesting, because they choose nearby village for nesting. Generally, the migratory species like pelicans, flamingos, many other species, even ibis and all, they choose the nearby village and the tree which is higher than that the tallest one, and they make nest. And nowadays I saw many places the people cut the branches because it is making some white shit and it is disturbing them. So that's why they are cutting. That need to be stopped. So those illegal practices need to be documented and it should be addressed at the local level. Then only our biodiversity will be conserved. So that's why UNCBD now today, the World Biodiversity Day is celebrating all over the world, and only to give the awareness to the communities. Why I am talking community? Community at present stage, they are not aware the system. They are not aware the traditional practices. Earlier, our forefathers, 15, 20 years back at least, and 50 years back, they have good conservation systems, practices. I saw many. Even I'll give one example. In the marriage, in the local level, marriage, they use one pole for making that pandiri, that marriage pandiri. They use one pole, that is Lania coromandelica tree. So what they do is, that is the main pole that is called as Talli Gunja. Talli Gunja.
Palagunja.
Huh?
Palagunja. Palagunja. Sir. Palagunja.
అంటారు. But the tree which they have selected is Lania coromandelica, ash tree. Ash tree is the only one tree they use as a sacred tree. So they go in the morning around 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, without seeing anybody in the village. They go to the nearby forest and cut that one pole and bring it to their house for marriage pandiri. And after 14 days of the marriage, and they remove that, again they plant it in their agriculture land, and that will grow. It's called translocation. They never disturb the forest. But present what we are doing is just they go and cut the teak and other things and they put for this marriage pandiri. Since a traditional culture, they already existing, and nowadays we all forgotten them. And we are going in different other ways to conserve the biodiversity. But the biodiversity conservation is that. And our earlier mothers and our grandmothers used to collect different varieties of vegetables and they preserve it and they sown in the forest area, sown in the agriculture, sown in the backyard. So that will be conserved. It's a kind of preservation. It's a replication for next generation. Are we doing now? No, we stopped that. We are not following it.
So as an academician, I'm suggesting one thing, sir. If we take the biodiversity conservation as a paper, as a generic paper, that will be useful to us.
Yes.
In the degree level.
You can write. There are many practices in the forest system, agriculture system, wetland system. People used to follow that. Nowadays we are not using that. So
we lost the traditional knowledge, sir. Generally,
Yeah.
we have the knowledge on biodiversity, but a deeper understanding of the biodiversity is lax, sir. And close to the nature also, and connecting to the nature and interacting with the nature, we are missing, sir. That's why we are now in different type of different type of diseases.
Yes.
To cure all those things, we have to connect the nature, and we are close to the nature, and nature only we can heal and rejuvenate us, sir.
Yes. And then one healer in Kamareddy district, he cures, he removes the cataract using traditional way. He use one tree fruit and he make it soft to pulp and all, and he applies to the eyes and he will remove the cataract.
Okay.
This is a traditional practice.
Yes, sir.
And in Ramayanpet, one healer heals almost 1,000 people a day for various diseases.
Okay, sir.
So he's having good demand on that. So these all resources coming from the forest, and he medicinal plants. So how to protect the medicinal plants is very important. So we need to develop a protocol for medicinal plants conservation, and we need to document that healers what kind of medicinal plant required for that healer, and we need to document that species and need to conserve that species. Otherwise, he cannot treat, because we cannot depend on our this allopathic drugs for many years, because it gives side effects. Even though we have global human genome project, but still we are struggling for various diseases. We don't have proper medicine for individual genome system.
Okay, sir. In the chat box,
medicine is important.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, Dr. Rupa Shikha Agarwal, she is asking, sir, please explain how to make good working plan.
Working plan.
Yes, sir.
So now the working plan is very important. Ecosystem approach to forest management working plan is required. So as I mentioned, 9 forms are there, and under the NWPC code 2014, and in Telangana we are giving training on this NWPC and the working plan preparation. So one model working plan is coming very soon, already prepared, and government has to approve it. from Medak division, Medak forest area. And that will give the clear sense of the model working plan for the country. So 2014, insisting the FAO and CBD guidelines on forest management. And based on that, the working plan has been prepared, and that will give the model for everybody, every state, and including every divisions in the state. So you will get that copy.
Sir, one more question. Veena, she's asking, sir, how to partner the school students at the school level and how the GOUT can push the program ahead for the better tomorrow.
So schools, especially schools, what I suggest is even government has to take the initiative. Every school after pandemic, and they have to visit the nearby forest area, and they have to document the existing biodiversity. Not only biodiversity, I'm not talking about the documentation, which gives the only the records, but there are many ecosystem interconnections. It's a kind of network. Forest works in a network. Example, tree is there. Tree will give the fruit. Fruit cannot come directly. There are many networks at the ground level, at the upper level. At the ground level, they need water, and they take water. And water along with soil is required, and the carbon resources are required. And upper level, the body out of the ground level, require many interconnections, many networks, like they need this respiration system, and they need this pollination system. All will together, you will get the fruit. So students should understand that, and they can document that which plant, which tree, or which bird is coming sitting on that, and which bird is selecting which tree for nesting, and what are the pollinators, and what is the role of the pollinators, and different plant has different pollinator. So some plants pollinated by birds, some plants pollinated by insects, some plants pollinated by air. So all these things, we as academicians, we know. But what about the children? And this particular pandemic situation, we should not stop our education now. All these need to be discussed with the students. So pandemic situation, and students are simply sitting and they are playing, and India is losing our various things because of pandemic. So if we are not aware, or we are not immediately start up this kind of educational program, we will lose many things, and we cannot compete with various countries, because India is having overpopulation, and because of pandemic, and even our education system will lose our benefits. So definitely all the teachers, academician, all the everything, every school, every college need to start these webinars and programs, online, virtual, anything over works, and they can document from their home, and they can come on the terrace, and they can observe the birds, they can observe the insects, and they can start gardening on the terrace, and they can do some works on the soil, and even they can learn about the carbon sequestration, and how this urbanization is happening, what is the threat to biodiversity. These things they can learn during this pandemic.
Sir, Dr. Ayodhya Reddy sir is asking, sir, any apps for fauna recording?
Apps for fauna recording.
Yes, sir.
We have JDSI, the major one, because they give Sir has know already these things. For fauna, there are many apps like BNHS has developed, and but not only one tool for. I'll give you one website, sir. I'll share the link soon. You will get the identification also. You can just upload the photo when you click it, and it will give the name, accurate name. And also you can make your own records, and you can contribute to the biodiversity conservation by documenting the diversity of your area. So I'll share that link. It's a very good app. Even I have opened one page in that app. So you can document anything. You can click the photo and upload it, and you can select one name. It will give one name that is authentic name. If it is not wrong, if it is wrong, and the experts in that group will immediately respond to that photo. So that way we can contribute our biodiversity documentation.
Sir, Mallesham Vatla is asking, సార్ మా దగ్గర వ్యవసాయం పైన ఆధారపడిన కొన్ని కుటుంబాలు ఇప్పటికీ చాలా అంతరించిపోయిన కూరగాయలు సాగు చేస్తున్నారు. విత్తనాలు వారే గత పంటల నుంచి సేకరించి సాంప్రదాయబద్ధంగా నిల్వ చేస్తున్నారు. వారికి మా స్కూల్ NGC సైన్స్ క్లబ్ ద్వారా ఎలాంటి ప్రోత్సాహం ఇవ్వగలరు?
Yeah. సో వాళ్ళు కమ్యూనిటీ కన్జర్వేషన్ వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే మనము ఒకటి చేయొచ్చు. సో వాట్ వీ కెన్ డూ ఈస్ ది డిపార్ట్మెంట్, ఫారెస్ట్ డిపార్ట్మెంట్ కానీ బయోడైవర్సిటీ బోర్డ్ కానీ, సో వాళ్ళకి రివార్డ్స్ అలాంటివి ఇచ్చి వాళ్ళని ఎంకరేజ్ చేయొచ్చు. సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళు ఏదైతే అంతరించిపోతున్న వెజిటేబుల్స్ దే ఆర్ కన్జర్వింగ్, సో వీ నీడ్ టు రికగ్నైజ్ దెమ్ as a biodiversity conservers are the owners of the biodiversity of that area. So that we need to document as a case study, and we can project it, and so that the government schemes can benefit, can give some kind of benefit to the community to continue their work. So the district DRDA and forest department is giving different kinds of financial support for these kind of people. So they can approach the district conservator of forest or PDDRDA, the project director, district rural development agency. They have different programs who are conserving the local biodiversity. They will give support, financial support for conserving, continue their work. So these two things they can do. If we can give the location so that I can inform the local officials to approach this community to protect the biodiversity and to support financial.
Sure, sir. Sure, sir. Sir, Somireddy Ramya is asking, sir, please explain antimicrobial agents in Patancheru.
Antimicrobial agents.
Yeah, sir.
I am not aware very well about the antimicrobial, but I can say one thing. Nowadays, these biofertilizers are coming. So biofertilizers, the industries can develop antimicrobials from that area, but I don't know how much they are expertise in that. And I can give some of the institution names who are working on these antimicrobials. One is the DOR, Directorate of Oil Seeds Research, Rajendra Nagar, and they have all the documentation. Even ICRISAT also, they have wing on antimicrobial, and they are working on that. They can approach and for any kind of projects in the Patancheru. And Patancheru area is most polluted area in the world.
Yes, sir. Right, sir.
It's having almost 1,000 industries.
Sir. Sir, can you say about the Aminpur Lake, sir?
Aminpur Lake is my favorite ones. So one of the place I used to visit almost every week, sometime every month. And this COVID situation, I am going every day. So it's a beautiful lake actually. When we are declaring this heritage site, we have fighted with many politicians. So they used to stop us when we declared this heritage site. But we got a support from the TSSPF, that's police department, and they have an academy there in the Aminpur. So they have adopted that lake, and after that they approached us how to declare the biodiversity heritage site, because we have documented more than 250 bird species there. So
Yes, sir.
almost 4 papers published on biodiversity heritage site. So this biodiversity heritage site, only heritage site in Telangana, which is unique one. The flamingos, which generally goes to Chilka Lake in Odisha, while returning to their native places, in Myanmar, some other countries, and they halt. This is a halting place for flamingos and pelicans. So generally they come here and stay there, and now they became residents. And ICRISAT is one organization in this area, that particular Aminpur area is having almost 3,500 acres open land. So these flamingos, pelicans, ibis, and other migratory birds, almost 45 species, go there and make the nest. So that's why this particular lake is very unique and having almost 95-acre land. Then after declaration, what we did is we have organized various consultation with the local colonies people, and we informed them not to disturb anything in this area. And that's why even the pollution is not coming to that lake. Some of the pollution is coming, but majorly not before. So now this biodiversity is safe in that area. It's almost 800 acres area is having biodiversity along with this water body.
Okay, sir. Sir, suggest more medicinal value giving plants to cultivate in Telangana, Siddipet, from where we can get seeds or plantlets.
Okay.
Arutla Balakrishna.
Ashwagandha is one, and I have listed 21 species. I just open that one. So what I will do, I have 20 species. 1 minute. So keep it in the chart, right? So can you see the list?
No, sir.
It is in the chart box.
Okay, sir. No, sir, we didn't get, sir.
I will send it to your WhatsApp, madam. You can just check.
Okay, sir. I will share to them.
You can share in the group.
Okay, sir. Sure, sir.
I have shared almost 20 species,
Sir.
medicinal and highly demand and good livelihoods. They can get good livelihoods out of these species. Even government medicinal plant board is giving subsidy 70%, and DRDA also giving, and NABARD also giving subsidy for growing species. So Siddipet area, you can contact me. I will help out to connect with the department. You can raise plantation. Even we will help you in marketing. So we have a market linkage and value addition also. So you can approach me and I can help you out how to go further.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So I request participants, if any queries, please post in the chat box. So no, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. It's a very informative session, sir. So over to Nagamani madam for proposing vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. It's a privilege to propose a vote of thanks in today's webinar on Close to Nature, organized by Department of Botany, TSWR AFPDCW, Bongir. First and foremost, I must thank our speaker, G. Sailu, for delivering a magnificent talk, for having enlightened us in the field of biodiversity. Today, the webinar was full of knowledge. It gave deep insight into the topic and also revealed some interesting facts. Thank you so much, sir. Our gratitudes to Honorable Secretary Dr. R.S. Praveen Kumar sir and Joint Secretary Dr. Praveen Mamidala sir, OSD Banu Prasad sir, OSD for Sainik Schools Dr. P.S.R. Sharma, JETCO Dr. Rajni ma'am, Director Major Usha Sharma ma'am. And our sincere gratitude to our principal, Dr. P. Balreddy sir, for his constant encouragement and support. My special thanks to Dr. Pavani and Dr. Yasholata ma'am have provided uninterrupted technical support for smooth conduction. My sincere thanks to all the participants here for paying attention to the and congratulating Dr. Rupa ma'am for organizing a wonderful webinar. Thank you, ma'am.
ఏంది మా వీళ్ళు
Every solution is in nature for healing and rejuvenation we grow through nature. That is the session ended. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. So I request participants, I posted the feedback form in the chat box. It will be a remain in 15 to 20 minutes only. All of you fill it and submit. You can get the e-certificate of participation. Thank you. By this, we can end the session.